Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to the Q&A 90,000 subscriber special. Now with the answer edition, only a couple of weeks late, and I think most of you by now know the reason, so let's get the excuses out of the way straight away. After posting the video for the Q&A question segment, I almost instantly contracted pneumonia. Apparently the dark gods didn't want me to actually record this, and then my throat and lungs were just out of it for about a week and a half, a little bit more, and I'm just about healthy enough now to actually feel somewhat confident to actually appear on camera, because I don't look good at the best of times. You really don't want to see me at the worst of times. So let's get straight into it. I'll be answering as many questions as possible, so every time you see me look down here, you know exactly what I'm doing. So, first question, how did YouTube change your life? Well, YouTube changed my life in quite a major way as soon as I left university. Before then, I was doing it as a side thing, so it didn't really do anything to my life other than take up all of my free time. So I can use that excuse for not going to the gym and such, haha. But on a serious note, it's changed my life seriously for the better. Being self-employed means I don't have a boss, which is the ultimate good thing in the world. And now, after only 2 years of actually working, I can safely say I no longer want to work for someone again. Maybe because I had a bad boss, maybe not. We'll leave that to the veils of time. Second question, did you ever want to become a YouTuber? Yes and no. When I was younger, particularly when I used to watch YouTube all the freaking time, yes, I looked up to the YouTubers on the screen and thought to myself, wow, look what they're doing, that's an awesome job. They're playing games for a living, I'm sure editing isn't too hard. And look how much adoration they're getting in comments, and they're interacting with the community. Who wouldn't want that? Then I realised, but Lathrix, admittedly my inner voice doesn't call me Lathrix, but still, but Lathrix, you have a speech impediment and you have the charisma of a soggy piece of bread. And so I didn't really want to become a YouTuber because I'm scared of that kind of stuff. But as things went, it turned out for the better, and yeah, I do it for a living now and everything's good, yay. But yeah, a bit of a mixed answer. I did, and I was terrified of the concept. So yes and no. Sorry microphone, I may have just hit you. This is the problem with not actually having a true standalone microphone and literally detaching the mic from my headset. It's kind of being held together with string and a bit of metal. I don't even know where the bit of metal came from, honestly. Next question, what are your plans for the future? Carry on what I'm doing, hopefully start some new series, end other ones, and just try and get better at doing certain things. The only big plan for the future really is that we're moving again within the next 12 months, probably the next 11 months, and I want to get better at editing in terms of my videos, as much as I do. See, here's the thing, I'm a person who likes the extended video. I've always liked really long Let's Plays. I loved Minecraft Let's Plays when I first started watching YouTube, and watching like an hour-long video of that was perfect for me. I didn't like heavy editing, and I still don't. I'm not someone who sits there and watches really heavily edited tiny videos, like 10-20 minute videos of 3 hours gameplay. And I can see why they're good. Everything you want to see happens very quickly, and it can be very humorous or whatever. But, see, I'm too far the other way. I like too long videos, so my plans for the future, get really good at editing, cut down my hour-long videos maybe to like 20 minutes, and my 30-minute videos to maybe 15, so I'm kind of getting the halfway mark. I don't know, the future is scary and stuff. When will I start streaming again? I don't know. At the moment, while I'm living here, it's impossible. The internet here is terrible, and that's one of the big cons at living in the very, very rural side. Seriously, outside we have a lovely little river and everything. I live in a converted barn. It's so lovely and beautiful. The internet here is absolutely terrible, so much so that it can take up to 10 hours to actually upload a video. In fact, this video probably took about 5 to 6 hours to get onto YouTube, even though it's in 720. So you can imagine that streaming would be a bit like this, and that wouldn't really be too good. I was simulating lag. What is your favourite colour? I answer this one really frequently, honestly. Deep purple or blood red, one of the two. Have I ever played World of Tanks? No. And I don't plan to at the moment because I don't like the more realistic kind of tank simulators and stuff. It just doesn't hold my interest because that's what I'm like. Do I have a day job, or does YouTube bring in enough income to support you? YouTube pays the bills, full stop. So YouTube is my full-time job at the moment. It just about pays the bills. When I first started, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do that, but during the growth period after I started doing it full time, I have been able to successfully live off of YouTube. So yay for me, and yay for everyone following me. Thank you. You're the reason I get paid. Go you, particularly you. When did you start making YouTube videos? How long have you been doing YouTube? You could look at the videos and scroll down on the newest of oldest thing. It's just over 2 years now, but I didn't take it seriously until the end of last year. So I would say, yeah, it would be after Christmas break from university. So I didn't really take YouTube seriously, as in doing it as frequently, until after uni, actually. But I would say I started taking it more seriously when I started earning money from it, and that was in December of 2015. So almost a year is what I would say, but my first video, which was about 2 years ago, which was Rogue Legacy, which is an old game which no one cares about anymore, which is kind of sad, actually. I need to play that game again soon. Maybe for like a mini episode or something, I don't know. What is the difference between a cat and a dolphin? Well, you throw them both into a pool of water and you see how they react. The reaction is the only difference. What is your PC? Custom built weirdness that my uncle put together for me because I'm bad at that kind of stuff, so I couldn't tell you any, like, oh, what PC? Oh, it's a PC with an X. It's a good PC. It has dual GTX 980s with an SLI bridge. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's really expensive and overpriced, and it's pretty. That's all we need to know, really. What happened to Factorio? Well, the move happened to start off with, which put me off playing it for a while. I got bored of it. I couldn't figure out how to make it interesting anymore, so I stopped playing it for then. Then I promised I'd go back to it, and when I tried to go back to it about 3 weeks back, actually, I tried twice, and I just couldn't figure out where I was. I had forgot how to do so many things, and ultimately I just sat there and thought to myself, I can't possibly make this interesting. At some point, I will do Factorio again. That's an open promise. But it will be a new series, so it's when I've got enough time to actually sit down for a full day and start off a series. That's what I normally do when I first start playing a new game. Hence, I thought I had 15 videos recorded after the first day because I couldn't start playing it. Seriously, I think I played it for like 20 hours in the first sitting. It wasn't healthy, which sums up me as well. Do you have any brothers or sisters? No, I am an only child. I am the only child my parents needed. Why try again when you already have perfection? What is the favourite game you've played this year? When this was asked, it would have been a different answer. It would have probably been Ark, but now it would definitely be Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is easily my favourite game this year. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I can see all these problems from Fallout 3, but I just love it. Something in the game has just caught me completely, just hooked me straight away. So I have to say Fallout 4. It just has to be. When did you start YouTube? And okay, same question as before. What games are you excited for the winter season? I would say Just Cause 3, which should already be out by the time this video goes out, I think, maybe, depending. It depends how fast I'm editing and how fast I publish this. I'm planning on minimal editing, so I'm still fairly ill, and I'm spending most of my time in bed, so not the best. Do you have a girlfriend, or are you loner? Well, my name isn't Are You Loner, which sounds like initials, weirdly enough, but no, I am engaged. I have a fiancé, I am a fiancée myself, yay! So, not a loner, yay! Are you a mongoose? Some of the voices tell me so, but I don't think so. What is your absolute favourite dinosaur in Ark? The Compy. Have you seen how small it is? But little babies, and they're vicious and, spoiler for the future, I suppose. But I may have a pack of like 20 of them now, and they just rip apart everything. Tiny little adorable reptiles that look more like modern day reptiles than dinosaurs. It's just adorable. What school did you go to? Well, I'm not going to say exactly which schools I'm going to go to for obvious reasons. I went to an infant school, then I went to a Christian junior school, then I went to a senior school which was really bad, then I moved senior school, then I went to college, then I went to university. Yay. Also, Christian junior schools in England, like the least Christian places you'll ever go to. Seriously, my nan wanted me to go there, I went there. It was just a regular junior school, honestly. What is your... and I only bring that up because recently I've been hearing some like weird tales of like Catholic schools and such in the United States and other places around the world. I'm just like, That was nothing like what I went to. It's just, I always assumed they were the same thing, but obviously not. Really weird digression there. Let's continue with this. What is your favourite Robocraft robot or plaguing type? My favourite Robocraft robot will always be Flank, I'm sorry, but Flank is the heavy-duty plasma bomber that needs to be updated desperately, and will always be my favourite. Favourite plaguing type? The Neurax worm. Controlling brains, killing people, controlling brains to kill people, I mean, that's pretty darn fun. What is your favourite LEGO Star Wars games? I've never played a Star Wars LEGO game, I'm sorry, it just never happened. Would you like to live in Sword Art Online? Never watched it, I'm sorry. A lot of repeats there. Okay, let's carry on. What exactly do you do in your job? Well, it's pretty simple, honestly. I set up recording software, I then test everything out to make sure everything is working fine, I set up audio levels, make sure the mic is in the position I want to, then I record a game with my commentary over it. Generally for between 30 minutes and 5 hours, any more than that, and well, my eyes go funny, my throat goes funny, everything goes horribly wrong. Then after that, I go into my editing software and I edit it all down, I cut out all the dead parts, which are a lot, and then the bits which are left over I mush together into an abomination of a video, which I then render, then check over, then start to upload. Once it's fully uploaded, I then sort out thumbnails and everything else, because YouTube is terrible at actually adding stuff while it's uploading, and the amount of errors that happen there is just unbelievable. And then I press public and everyone gets to view it, and then I watch it biting my nails hoping I didn't miss something, which I do far, far too often. What is your by far favourite game? That will still be Sacrifice by Shiny Entertainment. It's my all-time favourite game because for its time, it was remarkably innovative. It just did everything new and weird, and it really pushed the boat out and completely destroyed computers. In fact, I needed a new computer to simply play it, and that's one of the reasons why it didn't sell very well, which was really sad. Bad timing of being released, really bad PR, really bad adverts, and far too high-level computers needed to actually run it at the time. Back when computer gaming wasn't really that prevalent, it was still very console-dominated, so that didn't go overly well, which is a shame, because I would love a Sacrifice 2 with modern-day graphics and such. What is your favourite build in From the Depths? Well, that would have to be the ship I'm currently building, which is the capital ship, which still needs a name. That's been a bit of a labour of love for me. It's me actually trying to make something that looks half decent. I'm naturally very bad when it comes to shapes and patterns and such, just part of the dyslexia, honestly. But I'm really trying with this, and it's going to look good, and I'm determined it will look good. I don't care if it does well, I don't care if it's overpowered or underpowered, I don't care how it actually handles in battle. It's going to look good, and it's going to be ridiculously huge, and I'm going to point at that anytime people tell me I build bricks, which I do. Because most of my other ships looks like floating bricks, other than something like the bunker, which I'm actually really happy with, or some of the flyers, which I'm happy with. Occasionally I make good things, but this one is going to be the good thing. What was the first game you obsessed over? That would be the original Pokemon Yellow in black and white. I loved that game. I mean, I was too young for it, to be honest, so I missed a lot of the stuff, and I was really stupid when playing it, but I was very young, just to be fair to myself, but I loved that game. And as soon as I got Game Boy Color, I got the colour version, and everything was good. Lathrix, who is your most favourite pet? I can't really say who's my favourite pet, since I have so many, but I'd say in the top contenders, since I can kind of like cut out the snails and stuff, which don't really count as top pets, they count more as, look at me, I've got a snail which is this freaking big. But I have a tortoise called Lipton, and I have several geckos, crested geckos, one of them who's been with me for a while, who I actually used to breed back in the day. I used to sell them baby geckos, because baby geckos are adorable, and everyone deserves one, and her name is Zeech. Also have Lily and Runty, who's the baby who came out of a rotten egg. Literally, the egg had started to rot. I thought I was going to have to throw it away. I just kept it around just in case in a separate incubator. It actually hatched, and he came out with a hormone deficiency and a bad spine. The spine fixed itself. The hormone deficiency means he's still like this big, despite being old enough to be about this big. So he's adorable, and all those are kind of my favourite pets, so yay for that. What do you do for a living? That's the same again, but aha! What are your schedules like? Well, that's a weird one. Because I've been recently sick, my schedules have basically not been in existence, but I'm trying to record for 6 hours a day at minimum, and edit for 2 to 3 hours a day, and that was what I was sticking with, and that's why I was getting 2 videos out a day every single day. And then bad things happened, and now I don't know what I'm doing, but probably I'll go back to that. It tends to be from 10 AM I start recording, and then 6 hours from that, and then 2 hours, then I have a break for halfway in between, and that's kind of that. Because if you don't treat it like a job, at least in terms of times, I find you get really carried away in like one direction, everything goes really weird, which isn't very good, honestly. What was your life like before making YouTube videos? It was pretty much the same, except for I did studying rather than recording, pretty much, honestly. Before I made YouTube videos, I was still a student. I mean, I was a student while I was still making YouTube videos at the end, but pretty much the same, other than the job changes. As much as YouTube is a very unique job out there, it's one of those things where your life doesn't change overly much because it's still a job. And if I simply ignored comments and pretended the community didn't exist, I could probably just pass it off as a normal job, which is fine by me. It's still the best job in the world, in my honest opinion, but it didn't really change all that much. The only big thing, like I said earlier, was without a boss looming over me, I could do what I want when I wanted, so it gave me a great deal of freedom. So I guess I had less freedom back then, would be the only thing. Although saying that, I have a lot more taxes and stuff I have to sort out, and numbers and money and stuff, which is a lot more confusing than it should be. So no, more freedom, but also more math. So yeah, I've been given more freedom, but also more mathematics to do, so that's pretty much that. What do you see the YouTube community in general as, and what are your thoughts on the various other YouTubers out there? Well, the other YouTubers, there are far too many to name, so ultimately, I would say, in general, 99.99% of YouTubers who are where they are deserve to be where they are. There are some people who are certainly undervalued, and some people who are overvalued, but even in those cases, they certainly put a lot of work into it, and as someone who went from watching them for so long and then became a YouTuber, I certainly respect that there's a lot more work involved than it seems. And I'm not just saying that because I am one now, I'm saying that because I was one of those people who really thought that YouTubers had no work on their plate. I was so guilty of that when I was younger. But no, there's a lot of work involved, so I have the utmost respect for anyone. Obviously, the channels whose content I don't really care for. I mean, there's hundreds upon thousands of them, which I really don't care about at all. But even then, it's just a matter of taste, and if you are where you are and you can appeal to an audience, then more power to you. When it comes to the community in general, like any anonymous community on the internet, it's full of badness and seething hatred and horror with pockets of heavenly goodness. It really is. I find myself in a good position where I value my subscriber base so much, and I find a lot of smaller YouTubers tend to attract the best, the cream of the crop, those little heavenly pockets I mentioned of the internet community, and that kind of attracts them over here. So I would say my communities like the Dapperlings from Avok and Rosefall's community, it's all lovely, and in general it's lovely to read comments and it really just makes my day, seeing everyone interacting with the videos, interacting with me being able to interact back. It's lovely. It's just, as a whole, of course, people are going to be idiots. It's the internet. It was put here for us to be idiots, and so I can't see any other way around saying it other than that. What series do you think helped the channel grow most? And I have an original flank with some extra healing. Well done, you. I would say the series which helped out my channel the most would probably be Plague Inc. Evolved, the original Plague Inc. Evolved series, as although now I can look back and see the viewership being so poor, for the time, I was getting maybe 100 views on my old Minecraft videos, because I did Minecraft for a while, in case you didn't know. I was getting maybe 50 on Rogue Legacy. You know, I was getting a little handful of views, which was fine by me, because I used to speak like a stammering robot when I first started out YouTube. Now I'm a stammering synthetic. So, yeah, I've improved vastly, but I would say Plague Inc. was the biggest because it pushed from the hundreds into the thousands occasionally, and it gave me several hundred per video, and because I was playing the mobile version just before, well not just before, several months before the PC version came out, the Plague Inc. Evolved, my videos were already being linked to the Evolved video, so I got a lot of attention from larger channels which are covering it, so I kind of got the drippings from their viewership, for a disgusting way to put it, so that helped out my channel significantly. Of course, since then there have been series which have rocketed into viewership, like From the Depths recently has increased drastically, again, because larger channels have covered it, the game's got a lot of media attention, but also things like Robocraft helped me a lot, but ultimately, if I didn't get that Plague Inc. at the start, I wouldn't be where I am now, so definitely Plague Inc. And now I need a quick break because my throat's about to break, as you can probably hear.